So after being subpoenaed by the January 6th committee to testify, Donald Trump launches a letter into the public square. A letter that is sharply self-incriminating. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So as you probably know, the January 6th committee investigating the insurrection just subpoenaed Donald Trump to testify. And Donald Trump responded, sort of, with a letter. A letter that is deeply and sharply self-incriminating. Here's how the letter opens. The presidential election of 2020 was rigged and stolen. All caps. Friends, that is a lie. Donald Trump's own officials said there was no fraud undermining the election's results. Donald Trump's own executive branch agencies put the lie to his claim, telling us that this was the safest and most secure election in our nation's history. More than 60 judges put the lie to Donald Trump's claim, including judges that Donald Trump appointed, by rejecting every single claim that there was election fraud undermining the results. Donald Trump's own appointees, Donald Trump's own family members put the lie to Donald Trump's statement. You know what I would do with Donald Trump's statement if I was the lucky prosecutor who got to actually try the criminal case against Donald Trump, which is coming, friends? Well, what I would do is I would take one of these government exhibit stickers. I went through tens of thousands of these in my career. I would slap it right on this statement and introduce to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury government exhibit 1 as a deeply and sharply self-incriminating statement by Donald Trump as further evidence of Donald Trump's ongoing conspiracy to commit offenses against and defraud the United States. What we call a 371 conspiracy, 18 United States Code 371. And friends, please remember this. There is a federal judge in California, Judge David Carter, who already ruled that there was evidence to satisfy the burden of a preponderance of the evidence, 51%, more likely than not. Judge Carter ruled that Donald Trump committed the crime of conspiracy to commit offenses against or defraud the United States, and a second federal felony of obstructing official proceedings, the certification of Joe Biden's election win. And friends, I'm not going to read much of Donald Trump's statement, but there were a couple of passages that jumped out at me. For example, Donald Trump continues his lie by saying a majority of people in our country say the presidential election of 2020 was determinatively dishonest, which is totally illegal and unconstitutional. And then a little further down on the same page, he says, a large percentage of American citizens, including almost the entire Republican Party, feel the election was rigged and stolen because they have seen determinative evidence, some of which is attached to this letter. I don't know if Donald Trump thought determinative and determinatively were the words of the day, right? A duck is going to drop down and give him $100. But he didn't write that letter. He had help. He had somebody draft that letter with him or for him. And here's what I would say. Anybody who helped or participated in the drafting of that letter with or for Donald Trump needs to be looked at as a co-conspirator, because this letter is a continued effort to deceive the American people. This letter is evidence of his ongoing conspiracy to commit offenses against the United States. And there's something else in this letter that I find useful from an evidentiary standpoint. Donald Trump attaches not one, not two, not three, but 4 pictures of the size of the crowd at the rally on January 6th. Huge crowd, unlike anything anybody's ever seen before. It's a big crowd, if it's not photoshopped. But here's the thing. The size of the crowd on January 6th at his pre-insurrection pep rally doesn't help him, doesn't exonerate him, doesn't give him some kind of a defense. You know what it is? It's a tribute to the success of Donald Trump's lies. The big steal. It's photographic proof of the success of Donald Trump's big lie. And it is therefore incriminating. Now let's finish with this. Donald Trump in this letter that he launches into the public square doesn't even address the subpoena. He doesn't say he will comply with it and testify. He doesn't say he will defy it. He doesn't say he'll fight it in court. He doesn't even mention the fact that he was just subpoenaed to appear before a congressional committee investigating his misconduct, his crimes. What he's doing is he's offering this statement basically in lieu of any testimony before the J6 committee because, friends, we all know Donald Trump is not going to testify. He's going to fight this subpoena in court, and when the trial court judge orders him to appear and testify, he's going to appeal it, and when the appellate court judges deny his request and order him to testify, he's going to seek review in the Supreme Court, and when the Supreme Court rejects the case, declines to take it for review, he will ultimately walk into the J6 committee hearing room and he'll plead the Fifth. He'll invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, just as he did 440 times when push came to shove and he was finally required to testify in New York Attorney General Tish James' civil case. Oh, he will plead the Fifth before the January 6th committee. And then all that will be left to do is prod into wakefulness that great beast, the criminal law, and indict Donald Trump for his crimes. And yes, this letter will be introduced as incriminating evidence against Donald Trump. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.